Hey guys, this is Turok, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of One Piece chapter 1164, and good golly, there is so much to unpack with this one. We learn a big bit of lore that's going to give us so much to contemplate for months and years until we get a full flashback from someone's perspective during the Void Century War there. And because we're gonna see here a bit more what Davy Jones and Joy Boy stuff versus with Imu, and then it's just like this really is interesting here because it also just brings up something about what's going on with Imu. What is he angry about? What's this chip on his shoulder with Davy Jones and Joy Boy, and what is it that makes him how do I put this? Like, why did he hate them? Did he know them? I'm looking at this like there was a personal matter where he may have hated them, and so he then took power, and now because of the stuff that we found out with Lily, Nefertiti Lily, and the same thing with the Joy Boy's Devil Fruit, the Nika mythical model still being around at Joy, and now they're finding out that this Davy clan is an enemy to and as well, and we always know about the D clan. Well, we got that tidbit about that from Sengoku about Davy, the D clan being the enemies of God. So there's a bunch of stuff here where Imu's trying to tie off loose ends, essentially, to make his control of the world complete. And then now, in the present time, we see he's trying to do this now he wants the giants of Elbath to be his tip of the spear prime army to completely rule the world. But there's something there, and it's very interesting. I just want to know that my main thing there too is the relationship with Davy Jones, Joy Boy, Imu, and stuff, and as well what was the other part I was gonna say about that? I lost my train of thought for a second. Something with how he wants to this chip on it. I feel like Imu had a chip on his shoulder about other people. It feels like to me, it reminds me of the old this days where you saw colonial powers of in the world. You had Europe in the 1800s having all these colonies, and there was a point where Japanese and Japan embraced imperialism in the 1900s, and they saw France and Britain and the others as a kind of like a club. And I'm using that partially from a podcast from Dan Carlin where he talked about that metaphor. And and I can't help but I know I brought this up in that way before, but yeah, I can't help but think that the other nations who brought down Ancient Kingdom possibly felt that the Ancient Kingdom had too much power, so there was envy, or they coveted what the Ancient Kingdom did, and they wanted that glory, that power to control the world, and they went after him. And then perhaps they sold a false story to the public about how the world government, how the Ancient Kingdom was a danger to us all, and we had to take it down. That kind of stuff, that whole propaganda type stuff that has been used in history to go after people. Like there was the time where there was one of these senators when Carthage was still a threat to a threat, and when this guy kept saying oh, we got to take down Carthage, and then Julius Caesar justified going after the peoples of Gaul because some of those tribes had sacked Rome a few centuries earlier. Anyways, I'll be very interesting there, but I still feel like back to the imperial stuff, Imu wants the power, and I don't know, what did he find with that power too that's gonna that made him like this? It'll be something. I wonder if that's about something with their ancient their ancient technology that was from the Ancient Kingdom. And this also brings up a question too about Blackbeard. What does Blackbeard see with using devil fruits that's gonna help him take down Imu, where Rocks seemingly fails here? What is his goal there to circumvent or find the chink in Imu's armor? That's a big question too. And lastly too, it looks like I was wrong about Rocks having a devil fruit. I thought for a long time he had the darkness fruit, and that's Blackbeard wanted that fruit because he knew Zebek, his predecessor, now we know his father had it. So I'm just wondering if it really is just comes down to Blackbeard researched devil fruits and sees them as the key to fighting Eam. Well, now we're getting that's very interesting because now we got hockey as a formidable weapon when used right, and so we have to. We're gonna be interesting to see how we tie that together. So, anyways, in the last chapter, we got to see some of these other previous users of devil fruits. We saw Captain John and Gangzu, who both were. Yeah, Gangzu, I think I heard. I don't remember Gangzu in Thriller Bark, but he was there too as a zombie general. I remember Captain John, and they both had fruits of people who currently have them now, being Captain Kidd, having the what do you call it, Jiki Jiki, or it's the magnetism thing that Captain John here has, and Gangzu had the fruit where he can make his body a my hair's all fuzzy. Explosive weapons, and he like flicks he goes like picks and flicks this booger like I think Mr. Five does that too when he first was fighting with Zoro, and he's going after Vivi and the other guy who's her one of her companion, her assistant, whatever. Meanwhile, we get the part where we have the others all team up together. We have this big team up here of everyone trying to take on Eam, who's possessed Saturn's body, as a way to like come there quickly from Marijua. And it was like an amazing attack combo, but even if it and I don't know, I was just thinking too, out of all these attacks, Kaido's was probably the only one where he didn't really use Haki properly. I don't know if he can use Haki with Boro Breath, but the others must have. That's right. Whitebeard used his Guru no Mi, but does he put Haki into that? Because he did that with Odin, but I don't remember if he did the Haki thing. I mean, and can he put Haki into his attacks like that? So none of their attacks have worked, and then at the end there, Imu grabs Rocks there, and he starts turning him into one of his demonic familiars, the way we saw him do this to Dory Bragan and the other giants in the recent chapters in the present time. So now let's get into it, I guess. I've been ranting long enough. So now we start here with all our other well, not heroes, but our main characters here. What the hell's going on? Imu's reforming there, and he's got Rocks, and he's turning him into the Domai thing. And the others are watching this. We got Garp, Roger, Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom all watching this and like, wait, what is going on? And this is something that I'll have to bring up too. Like, what from after this, I'll briefly bring up, what is it that Big Mom and Kaido thought they could do by building up an army that they could take on the world? Big Mom talked about in Kaido's flashback, when he first joined Rocks, 4 or 5 years ago, Big Mom said she'd be the one who'd be the king of the seas. Okay, oh yeah, that's before she saw this too. But Kaido afterward, he's building up his forces in Wano after this. And I just wonder what it is he thought he could do differently than after witnessing this stuff here. The conclusion of this will probably help this hypothesis on my thoughts on this. I don't know what Kaido thought he could do differently than Rocks to take on the world government. He wanted to start a great war that we've heard, but as we've seen with Oda, when he says something like that, there's usually a little more nuance to such a statement that a character will have. So it'll be very interesting to see what that means for Kaido. What the try and conjecture, I guess, what he thought he could do differently. So the same with Big Mom. She builds up her army with children who have all these devil fruits, and she wants to find a One Piece. Do they both think the One Piece will be a weapon that can take on the world government? Maybe that's what it is. I guess that's the most likely thing we can come up with. So as Rocks slowly begins to transform, it looks like his Haki is, maybe he's using his Haki to try to resist it. Yeah, it must be, because there's like conquerors there. And that was the thing I was trying to hint at a moment ago when I said about how to resist this. I wonder, I was thinking about this too because the other day I was watching, as I rewatched One Piece, where Bonnie and the others are fighting these vice admirals on in front of the Great Eric. I was thinking about because Bonnie goes after that guy who's got the zone, who's a otter, and she turns him into a child. And I was wondering if that guy would have hockeyed his body, or somehow like that, or he probably have conquers. Can someone, if they hockey up their body, can they negate that power like hers immediately and prevent her from transforming him into a child? Likewise, I brought this up before with Sugar. Sugar almost seemingly would have turned Luffy and Law into puppets and toward the end of Dressrosa. And I wonder if Luffy would have been, I wonder how conscious you got. Can you quickly flip on your hockey like that? Can you have it active in a way where you're defensive, reflexively ready to defend against hockey ability, devil fruit abilities like Sugar or Bonnie's that can transform you in a way that prevents you from being useful in combat afterward. And Sugar's is especially dangerous because it permanently turns you into a toy until she's knocked unconscious, and then worst of all, no one will know because that's where her devil fruit was so broken too. Everyone will forget you. That is some weird ass BS power there. Actually, I'm not surprised Blackbeard. I wouldn't be surprised too if Blackbeard would go back to Impel Down, break out, and try to break in there just to get like her fruit, and especially and Doflamingo's fruit, as to make more useful soldiers in his army. Anyways, as Rocks here is starting to transform, he starts making jeering at I guess was that the right word, at Imu. And here's where he starts a lore drop. He says here, don't doubt humanity. Davy D. Jones was once the king of the world. Oh yeah, so he's the D. Maybe he's the originator of the D. I forgot about thinking about that. I was thinking of the D clan. Okay, I didn't even think about part. And so here, stop right here. We have to think about this. So I kind of thought about something like this before. I didn't think about Davy Jones specifically, but I know I said before, I thought Joy Boy was probably like leading the fight against the alliance of the 20 kingdoms. And so it does, now we do get something here about with the Davy Jones and this stuff here. And this really ticks off Imu here. He goes on saying, don't speak of his name and don't call him a king. He was never the king of the world. And so he's really getting upset. Like, oh yeah, he's doing this old-fashioned talk right again. They're using that more like an old English version here with translation. In the English translation, there was something about the Japanese I heard that's different too, that in the way that Imu speaks. And then he goes on saying, what the grievance between me and Davy had nothing to do with ye. But then Rox is like, haha, looks like I what do you call it? Not ticked you off. Oh, I can't think of that word. Why are you so he poked the bear. Oh shoot, what's that term? Looks like I can't think of it anyways. Yeah, so he's like, oh, so if this is so trivial, why does me talking about this tick you off so much? And so he goes on, like, yeah, you've been terrified of the idea of one of the Davies coming back, right, and fulfilling the promise. This has been haunting your dreams and all that kind of stuff. So he really, like, I love it. He's really getting there. And he's still slowly transforming here. We get this shot. So his hockey, he's probably trying to exude his hockey to block it, but you can see him sweating there. And he's just not able to do it. Let's see. He's got to, yeah. So he's like, I wonder who's more frightening to you, Davy D. Jones or even Joy Boy? And Imu tries to shut him down by saying, oh, cease that dreaming. They'll never be seen again. I'll eradicate you and end this all right here. This is funny, though, because even at this point, we know he still can't find the Nika's fruit. They've been trying to, as we heard through the Gorosei and the closest they came that we saw them having it was they located it, was it 13 years ago now, and then Who's Who failed to be able to transport it due to Shank's intervention. So I like this too. Davy D, who's more frightening to you, Jones, Davy Jones, or even Joy Boy? So also there's a question here: is Joy Boy part of the D officially? Is this also a family thing, or is this just the idea of inherited will? They talk about that a lot here, and I feel like there is something there with the will, more of a will to fulfill. Part of this too feels like what's going on is they're trying. The will is there's like twofold here. I see. It's partially to avenge the ancient kingdom for being destroyed, and two, it's about reversing the world government's control over the whole world to from controlling everything. This feels like what happens in Assassin's Creed, and I think I brought up in the last chapter. I'll briefly just say it again. The world government is trying too hard to control everything, and the idea of the D clan and being fulfilled through the Jones and the or JV Jones, is that Jones is the first? Okay, I don't know. And the Joy Boy is that they're trying to fulfill this idea of stopping this power from who just makes puts the world under his thumb, and let the countries have their own, fulfill their own destiny, or find their own destiny and look out for themselves without having to skirt around a higher power that will stomp them out like insects, as they say, for not fulfilling the will of that world government. And we shouldn't have to be in fear of a centralized power who's become authoritarian and like stuff like that. So he goes on here. So that's the thing too I want to bring up. So Joy Boy, I want to know, if Joy Boy and Davy Jones are someone that work together. My guess is, like I said, that based on what Rocks is saying here, I'm guessing at this point that Jones was the head of the ancient kingdom, and Joy Boy was a powerful member, and maybe in a military or some other aspect of that infrastructure of that government. And when they were attacked by declared war upon that, war was declared upon them by the alliance of the 20 kingdoms, Joy Boy was the one appointed to defend the ancient kingdom from being demolished, destroyed, and all that. And unfortunately, they lost it. He lost, and we'll see how that. Hopefully, see that. Of course, we'll see. I hopefully see it soon in the near future. I don't think we'll see it. No, we probably won't. This flashback, I'm sure, is only going to have a few more chapters, because after this, we still got to get to the end where Harold was assassinated. So I wonder how many more chapters. This also, by the way, is this like the longest flashback we've ever had? I think we're at 12 chapters or so by now. We still got to finish the stuff with Loki, Haruden, and Harold, as I said. And hopefully we'll find out what happened to Ida. So Imu goes on here to try to turn the tables on Rocks by saying, now that I have found these excellent soldiers to serve me, I will be able to. I will finally have like the final power I need to defeat put the world completely under my thumb. Which brings up a good question too. Given how powerful Imu is, why does he want to just have other soldiers do his bidding? Is he just that kind of guy that just like, oh, go out and crush everything for me? I just want to sit in my flower room and sip tea all day. So Rocks realizes what Eames talking about, and like, the giants, leave them alone. They only want peace. They're just looking so he actually defends them. It's funny because he's trying so hard to get Harold to join his cause, and then to take on the world government. But he's at this point respected that Harold's wishes, I guess, to stay out of conflict and just try to make the world a better place. And I like that. I respect that about him saying that here. And Ian's just like, yes, that weak-willed king. He will be the perfect puppet. I must take this opportunity now because chances like this don't come along very often. And it's like, he says the same with you. I must take advantage of you because you are so potent. And this is where the final bit of his translations comes. And he's like, and I'll use this, and this will finally, I'll have an end to the dream of Davy. And it's like, I don't know, this is like, yeah, it looks like more Conqueror's hockey's exuding. So the whole time, we still got, we see Rock's Big Mom, Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido are still nearby here while this is happening. And then Rox is dropped back to the ground. And you see him there, and his eyes, too, become so white, and they're out. It's the same stuff we saw with, like I said again, with Dorian Bragi. So Big Mom is up there checking on him, like, wait, what happened? Rox, are you okay? And then you see Rox there, his mind's like, it says I'm going to disappear. But the way I'm understanding this, as I read through this, is what's happening is that he's losing control of his self-control of his body, and you see that here. He gets up now, and here we go. I went too hard. He gets up now, and we hear Imu speaking to him like, "End Davy by thy own hand." As he said before, he's gonna try and make him go after Eris and Teach. And then sends him another command too. They race. No wait, was that him thinking that Rox? But he maybe. And then Imu starts to give him commands. Now erase all the life involved with God Valley. So he's up there now here, and we see him with Whitebeard nearby. And Whitebeard, no, that's actually Big Mom. I'm sorry, I thought that was Whitebeard for a second. That's Big Mom there, which makes sense. Like, this was interesting too, because Big Mom, it was the tallest member of the Rocks crew. We had that great double panel about 4 chapters ago or so, where we saw Rocks in the middle and then all the others around, and Big Mom was easily the tallest. And now you've seen that he's basically a small giant at this point, I think, because Big Mom's about 30 feet, and he definitely looks like he's about 30 to 50% taller than her height. And so she's there facing off, and he's just like, he's speaking. This isn't really Rocks, of course. This is that demonic possession again. And he's like, get out of my way. There's blood that must be erased from history. And the first thing you do, he jumps up there. He goes after Kaido, and both Kaido and Big Mom here are both very confused. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So again, that's what I brought up earlier. Like, what did they think later that they could do to stop Imu? Maybe they think Imu is defeated after this. Sorry, I keep looking at OBS a sec. Maybe they think Imu is defeated somehow, and they thought that they would have easy pickings after this battle. But Rock just jumps up to Kaido, grabs him by the head, and swings him toward the rock wall nearby. That's right, because they're still in the middle of God Valley there. He swings him away. And by the way, look at his wings. I got a thumbnail ready for this I drew, and man, it was difficult to get this because I can't. At some points here, like here, it looks more like an angel wings, but all black, like feathers. But later, it looks more like a bat's wings. You can actually kind of see it there too, and you see how the wings are look very demonic in some, or devilish in some way, like a fallen angel thing. So he just takes Kaido and swishes him out of the way, which sorry about this, Kaido, but like at this time, you know he's not in his peak. So him getting taken out quickly was not a total surprise. Kaido was not as strong as Rocks even before. Well, we didn't see. It was interesting to see Kaido in his hybrid form fight Rocks here before he transformed. So he takes Kaido out though, and he basically goes after everyone here nearby him. So Kaido looks like he's down for the count. And then Big Mom tries to get the drop on him. She comes behind him like, what are you doing turning on your own people? But he gets up to her. She's even not fast enough. And we get a shot where he does a turn, and it doesn't show how he hits her. But we see her spinning away there and landing into the rock wall and whatever, it's probably the opposite direction where Kaido is. And then Whitebeard's still there standing near him. And this shot's great. I love this. This is my favorite shot of the whole thing that comes up next. And Kaido. So yeah, Whitebeard says something. I like the translation better in the unofficial here. And here it says like, oh, what are we, impotent? But it's like he's saying, what? Where you just looks like we're just in your way now, Rocks. And boy, he charges up his Guru fruit. I thought he used his what's his sword's name now? Maguro. Wait, shoot, what was it? There's a Naganada Murakumogiri, right? He doesn't use that initially. He here instead, Whitebeard punches back Rocks' devil fruit sword with his devil fruit. We see a huge crack there. I think, yeah, because it's Kumagiri. Murakumogiri's over there in his left hand. So he must be using, he's not using the handle of it. He must be using that. And then there's this awesome clash there as they go up against each other. And the intensity there is so much. You see the backlash of this. This is like Conqueror's Hockey. It reminded me of the Conqueror's Hockey we see him and Whitebeard and Roger use later. But this is just merely the two. His fist is going up against fucking Transform Rocks' sword. And I love this moment because we know Whitebeard gets considered the strongest. And we got Kaido and Big Mom there. But Whitebeard here is the one who's last standing. But the attack is so powerful, it starts collapse. It collapses the one of these rock pillars, the natural rock formation ones, and it all starts collapsing there. And you got all these Navy ships there, and boy, they're just done for. And so we don't see what happens here, but it looks like he takes out Whitebeard. Maybe not like takes him out. I don't know if he knocks him unconscious, but he knocks aside Whitebeard. He wasn't able to stop that blow. And we switch to seeing Rocks running away, and not running. He's looking for, because his attention has been told to go after his wife and kids. So now we see him running here, so he's going after them. But holy shit! So, yeah, we don't see Whitebeard, Kaido, and Linlin, Big Mom for the rest of the chapter. So it appears he really probably took them out, and like Whitebeard as well, that they're not going to be back into this fight. I hope to see them. I do hope they come back in a way like, I wonder, and I kind of, what I'm saying I hope is that they'll witness what actually happened. Like they know the truth of what happens with the end here. I hope they know about it in a way that rather than secondhand knowledge. It'll be interesting to figure out, like, see that. So we got the Marines here, like, starting to see that after this collapsing of the thing, like, and everyone starts saying, okay, fall back, shit's getting real here, keep your distance. And we got then we go to the Celestial Dragons, and some of them are still being evacuated, and they're like, what's going on here? Who should we punish? And it's like some of the Marines like, just get on the ships, stop it. It's like, well, they're trying, and then some of them are just whining, complaining, oh, don't you dare leave without us. Like, just get the fuck on the ship. I didn't think anything. I don't care. I wouldn't be afraid of them. I was just like, get on the ship. I'd kick one in the ass, too. I wouldn't care. Punish us. You're trying to save your lives. Shut your mouth and move. Anyways, that's just how I feel on it. So we get Rayleigh and Shaki's watching this onward. And look here, too. Who's this guy with the wings? He almost looks like he's a Lunarian. This guy in the right here. He looked like he might be a Lunarian or something, because he's got these little bat wings there. Like, what little hint was that Oda was leaving us? He looks like he's part of the Roger crew. Did we see him? Oh, yeah, that's right. Some of the Roger crew have names, and I didn't catch on how I forgot that some of the Roger crew had names, and I saw other people were naming them in their reviews. Looking at the wiki page, I don't see anyone that looks like it matches that guy's picture exactly. There was one guy named Taro that kind of looks like him with the hairstyle, but he doesn't seem to have wings. So maybe we'll find out about that guy later. But so we're back here with the Rocks Pirates here evacuating, and they're like looking honest. This is probably after Whitebeard and Rocks' actions knocked down the one pillar. And so we get to some other pirates, and we got them evacuating with the whatever treasure they've collected. And yeah, I don't know if that's part of the Rogers crew. And we see, yeah, some of the people like, Rayleigh, let's just get out of here. This island's gonna fall, probably sink in the sea and stuff like that. And Rayleigh's just like, what the hell? I hope Roger's all right. So we switch to some of the other characters now. This is where we see Dragon in here, and now he's like upset because he lost Shanks when what was it? I think it was the explosion where Gangzu attacked Captain John. Oh, what one of those attacks. He was flung away, and he lost Shanks in the process. He ended up with just a piece of wood in his hand, and then that's where we saw Shanks was on the ground somewhere else nearby, and he found a treasure chest and crawled inside of it. And now we get a brief view of Kuma, Ginny, and Ivankov here. And he's got his fruit, and he's been using it to save people. And now the stuff's starting to get crazy there. Ivankov and Ginny are both kind of looking at him like, hey, come on, we got to just get out of here. And let's go. And he keeps saying, no, one more. I got to save one more person. Or not just one more. Like, he's like, anyone I can save, I must do this. So he sees a person there. Actually, we'll get to it in a second. I'll tell you who. This is very was very not heartbreaking. I don't know what the word is, but it was like it's cute. Who he ends up saving is so, I don't know, not serendipitous. Anyways, we go to Captain John, and he survived that attack from Gangzu. And I was thinking he was gonna die here, and then we have it looks like Shiki is fleeing. We go to him and Gangzu. And is he with Shiki? No, Shiki looks like he's by himself. He's got one of those chests, and each chest, someone, I think it was Gangzu who said that each one of those chests has enough gold that it's worth 1 billion berries. And then the others are like trying to look like around, like probably like thinking, oh shit, everything's collapsing here. Is there any way we can escape this island? And so they must be lost sight of where the Rocks pirate ship is. Maybe they're trying to get off themselves. Because a lot of these guys look like they're all like John and Shiki both look like they're ready to just run off and to get their big payday and get away from being part of this crew. Because this is the day they were waiting for to get a big payout. So that's what's going on there. And so we go to the Marines here, and it looks like we're getting some of them. What's going on? And like they're trying still to evacuate as many of them as we can, and then other people are like, we can't get all the injured out. We need more stretchers. And then there's a fire starting to spread everywhere from all the fighting. So thing is just going freaking crazy here. So now we switch to Rocks finally catches up to Eris and Teach. And she's still running, and she turns and sees him, and like, oh no, Zebek! She realizes because some of the other Zebek's family got turned into the demons earlier. She's like, you lost, and instead of feeling, she's still So I love this. She's a very selfless woman, Eris. She's a very good character. We get another great female character that we're barely gonna see, and given what we know, she's probably going to pass away at some point. But spoiler, she's not going to pass away here like I thought. She escapes here with Teach, and we'll see in a minute. She's like, I'm so sorry you had to be put through this just to save us. It was too early. Did she mean to fight Imu? Okay, so anyway, she's running toward the shore, and he's gaining on her because Eris doesn't seem to have any superhuman qualities, or even if she did, Rocks in this form is probably just about the toughest human on the planet now, outside of talking like the Gorosei, etc. And so she's heading for the shore to jump into the sea, and she's like, let's go, Teach. We'll just swim. I must make sure the Davy clan blood stays alive. And then so these assholes in the Navy see her, and they're ready to say, oh, there's more escapees. These are the ones like we saw this a few chapters ago. I initially missed this actually, where the other people had gone to shore and were like, help, help, and then it just got killed by cannon fire by the Marines. They're just ordered to make sure none of the people there who are the prey for the Celestial Dragon's game would escape. So these assholes are doing the same thing. And so right as this about to happen here, Rocks is about to go after, get his sword, and he's almost ready to get her. And then the cannons, the two naval ships here fire at her. Right at the last second, Kuma jumps in, and he boop, and Teach and her are gone. But wait a minute. How does that work? Oh, that brings up a good question now. He did them boop separately. Does that mean they went to separate locations? I was thinking initially as I read this that they just go together. But now that gives me some concern that she didn't go make it in the same location. He uses both. Well, maybe no. If he thinks about the location, it probably would send them to the same place. And so as he's doing that, Rocks almost swings at him, and it looks like he does it. He's just in time to like boop himself, or poof here, it says. And then, so he's just gone too. But wait, how does he? Oh no, maybe he just pops himself. I was gonna say, how does he get Ginny and Ivankov out of there? He must go back. He must have just done it somewhere else. I keep thinking it's more like teleporting. We probably like boop, other side of the island. He ricochets around. It's very interesting the way that Oda portrays his fruit. So that does we have the shot where the cannon fire hits where the where everyone just was, Kuma, Rocks, and Teach and Eris. And no, that's what happens. So the fire hits there, right? That's right. But Rocks' sword, he swings it there. The swing of that sword cuts this one ship right in half. It's kind of like the stuff we've seen Zoro and Mihawk do. He just easily cuts them in half, and it's just like, woo! And so now we're getting near the end here. And then Imu's looking on there, and I don't think he realized what happened with Teach and Eris. He just says, he looks there, and I was like, oh, I think I'm interpreting the scene as if he thought Rocks was successful in, yeah, that could kind of make sense, in killing Eris and Teach, because he can't sense their life force on the island anymore. So he probably thinks that Rocks was successful, and he just says, continue on, Davy, and snuff out the rest of a life on this island. And so, he's going to continue here. And then we go back to some more Navy people who are there in the ships with the Celestial Dragons, and you got people. One of them's communicating with Garp, and like, Garp, get over here now. We're ready to ship off. Get off. There's no time for you to stay. And Garp's like, no, just you guys get it going. And give me the status on how many other people's lives are still on the island. So he's staying there even if this other stuff wasn't going on. He's staying there as long as he can to save as many lives as well. I like that too. So we got Kuma staying behind. Kuma, who's a slave at this time, is staying there and trying to save people. Roger is also staying there, even though he could leave with the other ships now. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay behind. So it's like everyone's just like, oh my God, there's just so much here. He's staying to save lives. Oh, freaking hell. And now we got Roger's ship, and this is probably Rayleigh or Scopper saying, Roger, where are you now? So he's got a den and Mushy, and Rocks, Garp must too. And they're like, I'm fine. He's also doing the same thing. He's making sure all his crew members are safe and sound. He's like, I'm fine. Just let me know when everyone makes it back, okay? So the thing is here, I don't know, it looks like they're still nearby each other. I think they're going to show that later, but I was like confused for a minute, like, where are they now? Because we got Rocks here rampaging everywhere. So yeah, Rocks is continuing a rampage here, and these are other pirates who know him, maybe even from his crew. Yeah, that one there, like some of them like, stop it, Rocks, why are you doing this to us? And the other's like, what's going on? He has this weird transformation. I've never seen that before. This feels sad a bit too, because this reminds me, I'm rewatching Dressrosa now. In particular, I was looking for Senior Pink's fight with Frankie. Could I have a video I want to make on something with his Devil Fruit a kind of like what if with him and another fruit user. But anyways, I was thinking about I'm thinking about here how like this is vaguely similar to how when Doflamingo was controlling many people across Dressrosa and having them kill each other, and it's just that same thing that feels bad here. Where like what do you call it, collateral damage, sort of, where people are getting killed by their own allies or friends and such like that, and it's very disheartening to see here. And so this is the last page, double page now we get to, and so we go here to Roger and Rocks, and we see what's going on here. They both looks like they're taking like a deep breath, and yeah, this shot goes really fast, but it's I think that's both of them. They're like, "Get out here, Rocks," and they like, is it both of them exuding their Conqueror's hockey? That's what it looks like to me. And this like shocks, something about this shocks Imu. I don't get like, and he says Davy, and I was thinking, oh, maybe, yeah. I'm thinking, did he? That's right, because they're both D. Did he sense their hockey and then realize, wait a minute, are these two part of the D clan? Something there really scares him about, seems to surprise him about that. So I'm looking at, yeah. So we get a shot here where Rocks has found the two of them. They're standing like this looks like a showdown in an old West town, which the design, this town center in God Valley has had this look all along. And the two, you can see out there, you got Roger on the left and Garp on the right. And he's just there. And they're both standing like, and Garp's just like, what a mess you are. And then Roger's just thinking, I'm not going to let you go hurt my crew. And so we get this last bit. They start getting ready to fight. And they both start hearing this voice in their head, Garp and Roger. And as you can see here, they're like, what is that voice? And you got, Roger's like, oh, that hurts. What is that? And Garp's like, what the hell am I doing here? Am I hearing here? And I think that's Roger probably saying, because he's seen Rocks many times before. Why do you look like that? And you can see here, so Rocks is trying to fight back against himself, and he can't. He's been probably trying the whole time. And he says, please, kill me. I can't stop myself. And it's like the shock on their face, especially from Roger. Like I said, he knows Rocks pretty well. And the last shot, Rocks is charging at them, and the other two are like just all winding up. It's just, it just ends right there. It's like, holy shit. Oh my God. So the showdown begins here, or is about to begin. And I don't think we have a break. So this is like going to happen next week. We're going to see them fight. And I wonder if they'll make this more than one chapter. And also look again at his wings. This is awesome. I've been trying to draw. I used a thumbnail and I was trying to get these wings. This is just amazing how he did this. Oh, I missed that. I'll have to add that later. So anyways, now we understand the context of the fight between Roger and Rocks. No, Roger, Garp versus Rocks. Among the three, I guess. These two are going to ally themselves because they're trying to save lives. And Rocks is... so Rocks is essentially in there watching his body be controlled. That's very interesting. That reminds me of, what was a book I read? No, I think this was a book. I think this was based, it was a book. I think I still have the book too. It's a little like compendium of short stories of Spider-Man and various villains. And there's one with him. Was one where it focuses on the Lizard, and it was the same thing. The Lizard is Dr. Kurt Connors. You've probably seen the version in there's the Spider-Man, the 2012 Spider-Man. There's in the book. This book I have, I'm pretty sure when the Lizard takes over Kurt's body, I think they portray that the same way as this, where Dr. Connors is still conscious in the body, and he can see what the Lizard is doing. It's the opposite basically of something like this. Isn't like what the Hulk does. When the Green Hulk especially takes over transforms from Dr. Bruce Banner. Banner is completely knocked out unconscious at the time. He doesn't know what's happening. He wakes up, usually with the trousers on, and everything else gets torn off, and he sometimes can get some of the memories there. Usually the violent stuff happening that the Hulk is witnessing or fighting when he's fighting the military, and with Connors, I think in this story it was the opposite. He can see what the lizard is doing, and it was the same thing here. In that one story I read, the lizard is going to try to kill Connor's family. He has a wife and also a son, I think, at least, and one child at least. And that story was like a race against time where Spider-Man's trying to pursue and track down the lizard to save Connor's family, and then Connor, there's a whole inner thing of where the lizard, Connor's just trying to find a way to wrestle control of his body back from the lizard's over his body. And this is the same thing. It's very heartbreaking in the same way here, where we see him crying right here to he can't stop this. He attempted to use his hockey, it appeared in the beginning, but it just wasn't enough to beat the power, this Domai Reverse that Imu is using on him. So now it's going to be like, will these two get along as well to fight him? This is going to be an amazing like choreography, illustrations and stuff that I want to see how Oda does this to show this off. And also, this is interesting because again, what is Roger going to tell? I mean, Garp going to be telling Sengoku that he says that story in such a way. I feel like what happens too is Morgan's is going to spin the story in such a way. Maybe Garp doesn't even say much about what happened here. Although I don't see why he wouldn't want to confide in Sengoku. They've been friends a long time, even at this point. So they joined like something like 20 years before this. And I want to know too. I'm curious next if John and Jean, what's that guy's name? Gangzu are gonna escape here. Also, we got these chests here. I just realized. I wonder if any of these chests we've seen yet is the one that Shanks. Oh, it is. Oh, duh. Look, I totally missed this. That chest right there. That guy. Is that the one Taro? It looks kind of like Taro. Let me pull it up. Hold on here. Brief second. Where's Taro? Yeah, it looks like Taro. Oh, loosely speaking with the coat. Yeah, it could be. That looks like that's the chest right there with Baby Shanks in it. I totally missed that. I was like watching the stuff with Shiki and Rayleigh. So they've picked up the chest with Shanks falling asleep in there after he got away. So yeah, Dragon, you're not gonna find the kid now. I'm sorry. I wonder how long it was before he realized, or if he ever did, that the baby he tried to save became a member of Roger's crew. Totally missed that. And so yeah, seeing how powerful Rocks is, this is already scary though. I mean, because Roger, we already had a feeling that Rocks was much more powerful than Big Mom and Whitebeard, but to see them fight here, I really hope too. This is one of those things I'm thinking about how like Oda's kind of going through this a little fast, and I see some other people like kind of point out like he really feels like he's going too fast. I really hope to see the anime have an opportunity to expand upon some of these fighting, so we can see a little bit more of how this went down. It just depends on how much they try to fit in an episode and all that stuff. And holy crap, the Davy Jones and Joy Boy thing. What is going on there? What was Davy Jones? Does that just mean Davy Jones was his king of the ancient kingdom? And I just feel like there's more complicated there. My thoughts too is maybe the ancient kingdom was more of a it was like the pinnacle of the world at the time, and there was just covet. Someone else was coveting that, and so Davy Jones was maybe not the king of the world. He just was. People were calling him that. It's the same thing we got with Roger. Roger gets called king of the pirates eventually, but he's not really the king of them. He's not ruling over them as a state. And maybe the ancient kingdom wasn't, officially ruling over the rest of the world, but because they were the technological peak and everyone's going there to get the advanced medicine, to learn from that and bring that technology to the rest of the world. Davy Jones was at the time the head of the state, and he was a just and good leader that the other kingdoms just couldn't stand, and so they started a war under some kind of false pretense to bring them down. And then Imu was being was one of the key instigators of such pretense to cause a war. And like I said earlier, it certainly looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder about that kind of stuff. I wonder if this has to do with also the creation of devil fruits. Hopefully we'll see that. I feel like, given that we don't know much about the devil fruits still, there could be Sycamore, and how Vegapunk said that he had such a difficult time creating them, but he's also talked about how advanced the ancient kingdom seemed to sound, that there could be a scientific method, an advanced one, so to speak, that Oda will touch on briefly about that with the stuff. But there's also definitely a supernatural thing where we keep getting ideas of these gods. We got the sun god, and we got if you have a devil fruit, you're cursed by the sea. Was it the mothers of the sea or something like that? And the ancient weapons obviously must be part of that too. There's something there. Well, not Shirahoshi. That's something that's supernatural. I like how Oda's incorporating that. That'll be interesting to figure out if the what do you call it? How he incorporates the idea of these fantasy elements with scientific stuff here, with the how Shirahoshi can gain her powers, and how there might be gods in the world as well as this advanced kingdom whose science was we'll get something out of Atlantis type thing. I feel like he's going for an Atlantis thing there too. I wonder if Oda's doing that too. And I wonder if the Noah as well is something that's linked to that. What connection does the Noah have with this kind of fallout afterward? So yeah, a lot of thoughts there, and I'm just going to let it here because my brain is just burning out from trying to puzzle all this stuff together. And I hope you guys enjoy this chapter as much as I did. Thanks for watching.